Very good. Welcome, fellas. We got
Welcome.
a newbie here, Brother Benson from Baton Rouge.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's lived all over Louisiana and various other places. Entrepreneur. So, what we do here, Brother Benson, is talk about men topics. Um, Most men run around living lives in quiet desperation. Hold on a moment. Let me call you back. Yeah, most men live lives of quiet desperation. In other words, a lot of times we just go along to get along. And Grandmaster Wright won't let me take over from me, Walker.
Getting on the call?
Yes, sir.
You getting on the call?
I'm on it. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Bye. Okay. So the gist of this is that we got somebody to talk to. We have somebody we can get advice from. Not to say you take the advice, but I learned something when I was a young man. If I had a situation, I would go to one older man and give him a little bit of it and see what he had to say. I go to another one, give him a little bit of it. Didn't want to tell everybody my business and my problems. So I get information from two or three of them. Then I put it together and decide what I was going to do. And it worked fairly well. But my logic behind that was I can stand the consequences of my own error. I didn't want you to tell me what to do necessarily because then I'm going to blame it on you. You gave me bad advice. So a little here, a little there. I put it together, pray on it. At that time, I missed it. Maybe I didn't pray on it. I just did it. But whatever the repercussions were, because every action has a reaction, right? I could handle it. I could stand it. If I did wrong, I can bear the blunt of it. But I didn't want nobody else to lead me down a rabbit hole. So the whole concept here is men coming together, sharing with one another, not necessarily sharing your problems, but again, we talk about issues and situations that we all have. We have the same problems. We got women problems, we got job problems, we got the world problems. We got to fight the devil. We got to fight our flesh, and we got to fight um, what's the third evil? The world, the flesh, and the devil.
Money.
Yeah, we could all use more money. So the bottom line is we just go on and talk about it. But the key thing I said, and we're kind of this second week, I guess, on is your manhood intact? TACT. In other words, are you standing flat footed as a man and not going wishy washy? The Bible does say a double minded man is no good for anything. I'm paraphrasing. And you don't ever want to deal with a double minded man. That's one that will say, make a decision, and then turn back around a day or two later and say, well, I thought about it. You know, make a decision and then you make that decision right. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
I'm pretty good.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I'm going to start off by saying a lot of times we are bullied into backing down, cowering down.
Thank you.
At the present time, the world says you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't take a stand on that's too harsh, that's too, whatever. We want you to be soft. I think I mentioned, if I didn't mention it, Isaiah 30:10, the 30th chapter of Isaiah, verse 10, talks about how the people wanted the prophet to talk to them gently. If what he was saying didn't agree with what they wanted to hear, they would come back and want him to say it, or they want him to talk softly. Now, question. Man was put here to provide and protect. How do you do that softly? And I'm listening. Anybody got an opinion on that?
I don't think it's possible.
Go ahead, speak on it, Benson.
No, I don't think it's possible.
I don't get the term softly. I don't get what you mean by softly.
Well, if I'm correcting you, most people want you to say it in a delicate way. Extremely diplomatic. No matter how serious the issue is, they don't want to be chewed out. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be told the truth.
Right. So I would say, in regards to like I'll just use myself with the tone I use with my wife. It's a couple tones I can use. I'm gonna use the one that I need to use to get the message across that I need to get across. So if it's the soft tone and I know that's gonna get me to the outcome I need to get with it, that's the tone I'm gonna use, because sometimes you gotta be more emotionally intelligent to know that the way you say something to certain people could trigger their defenses early in a conversation. So I'm gonna use the tone where I'm gonna keep her defenses down to get the message across that I need to get out. That's just me.
Well, what happens if you use that soft tone and it doesn't take effect? It doesn't hold.
So I've tried it both ways. If I'm gonna if I'm shooting 90%, it's with the soft tone, and I'm probably 10% with the other tone. So I'm gonna go with the one with the highest percentage of success.
I understand, but what if that? In other words, you tell your child to take out the trash,
Mm.
and the trash is still there tomorrow. What do?
You gotta have another conversation, or you gotta correct the behavior again, or you gotta have some way to correct it. Either way, it's gonna be another conversation, or you're gonna have to take another action to get what you need out of whatever outcome you're doing.
Is that going to be another soft conversation?
I would say it would be a different tone. It would be a more serious tone. It's not gonna be it's not gonna have the niceties in it. It's gonna be a little bit more, hey, sense of urgency. I need this done type of thing.
Okay. You like baseball?
No, I don't.
So they already struck out twice, or they didn't hit the ball at 2 pitches. What you gonna do? What you gonna do the third time around?
Hey, I'm gonna hit once in one of them innings, so hey, I'm gonna keep coming up the bat, man. That's the only thing I can do.
Well, Grandmaster, I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I think referring back to what you were saying, especially in the beginning of time with Adam and men having to provide, it requires a sense of courageousness, especially when you're talking about hunting and things that are difficult to do. In modern time, some people say animal rights and things like that, but back then you had to do what was going to feed your family. So you have to have a sense of courageousness as a man and have the courage to do what it takes to make sure your family is taken care of.
Okay, I buy that. And in many cases, in modern times, today, what's one of the biggest obstacles in providing for your family?
resources.
No, I don't think so.
Procrastination.
The world is in perfect order. Everything we need is here.
Yes.
There is no shortage of time. We all given the same time. There's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of resources. There's no shortage of anything that we need to get what we want. So what is that obstacle that keeps you from getting where you want to go? What's the major obstacle?
Would it be a lack of ambitiousness?
Okay, Benson, you laughing. What you thinking?
No, I thought of something crazy.
Go ahead.
Women.
You can express anything.
I said women. I mean, but that's
More, you agree with that?
That women can be an
Yeah.
obstacle? I think so. I think yeah, the wrong woman.
Okay. Walker, you don't have that problem, right? At the present.
Not at the, well, I have friends, but the reason I say ambitiousness is because the skills to provide as a man for our family are often within us, but we have to have that sense of urgency, as the gentleman was saying earlier, to go out and do what it takes to get the job done. Because a lot of times some men aren't as eager when it comes to doing the things necessary to provide and be a man. So you have to have that drive, that cliche, faith without works is dead. So when we know what our task is, it's up to us to carry that out by putting that action. I know when the man was talking about being a boxer and the training that he had to put in. So, being a man and a woman, like you say, it takes effort. So like you say, the resources are there, but that effort and drive has to be there to get the job done.
Absolutely true. Now, when you were born, I was born, we had that drive. As babies and little children, what we wanted what we wanted. And we would go after what we wanted. So what happened?
The world told us we can't have it.
So we cowered down.
Can I ask a question? I'm so sorry. I'm kind of new here, first time on this call here, and I kind of missed the question. I caught the tail end of that question. If you don't mind, if you can ask that question, I'm kind of trying to follow everybody here. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Who are you? Pat 667.
That's me, Patrick. I was invited by a good brother of mine, Derek Thomas.
Oh, okay, got you. All right. Now, I move kind of fast every once in a while, and so I might not even remember what the question was. What we were trying to figure out is the major obstacle that stands between us and what we want. And
keeping the man.
Benson said women. Moore said the right woman. Walker said ambition. And to that I said, as children, we had a lot of ambition. What we wanted, and we pitch a fit for it. So what happened to that drive that we were born with?
Can I just say some of us just get lazy?
Later, okay.
I agree with that, especially with so many video games and social media. A lot of focus on important things, whether it be getting a trade or education, doesn't have such an emphasis as it used to. So there's a lot more distractions in the world today.
Okay, distractions will stand in our way. Now, how do we solve that? And see, that's what this is all about, Patrick, is us being able to stand flat-footed as men, make a decision, and then make things happen. And sometimes when you have fellows, other men that are on the same page with you, you tend to feel empowered, if you will. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. So, yeah, we get distractions, but now how do we solve that? How do we negate the influence of the women or the low ambition or whatever it is? What do we do? What can we do to get past that to where we are supposed to be? Because something was put in us,
Right.
a gift for us to accomplish a purpose.
Right.
And I submit to you, and then I'm going to be quiet. I submit to you that we are bullied a lot of times into cowering down instead of going forward like men.
Right.
That's I just want to say I think I understand where you guys are coming from, and it is tough in some instances, but I always find it that when we lead with love and let's see, how can I put this, as far as trying to get things done, and you know nobody's perfect, but I feel like if we lead with love and certain expectations, and I think I remember the question where you said, if I'm not mistaken, I think the question was, if you're trying, I think someone said, if you were telling your son to do something like take out the garbage, right?
Right.
And it didn't get done, right? What do you do, right? Some men, they would get upset at first, right? They would get upset. I told you to do this, and blah 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 blah. So I think the way I would handle it first is one, because yes, we're used to, giving direction or delegating tasks, right? However, sometimes I think as men we gotta kind of take a step back and then first educate, lead with love, educate. Why are we telling our son to take out the garbage? Do he understand the process, right? As to why I'm telling him to take out the garbage, right? And not, me personally, I would want him to understand the reason behind it and the principles behind it, right?
Right.
Because growing up as a young man, am I making sense?
Yeah,
Or
you're making sense, but I'm looking at Vincent over here and his facial expressions to what you're saying. Okay? And then Jason is smiling, so I'm watching the reactions of everybody.
I mean, sometimes I can be all over the place, so let me know.
But I think it's more, I'm smiling because I had a son, that was young, and now he's 32. But when he was younger, I think the problem men have, is they compromise too much.
Okay.
They compromise with the wife, for something they really want. They'll compromise, to get it or to do it. So there's times, you can't compromise, to the goal or like a vision that you truly want to get to or have. Should you have to do it and see,
Hey,
like sometimes the stuff they may not like it. But at the same return, of the compromise, of that needs to get thrown out the window sometimes, to complete a task.
Vincent, what's your take on it?
I agree that that we compromise and but I think that a lot of that comes over the years of being just constantly going up against like everything that we're faced with, and like you say, we cower down. And now what we're doing now is having the meeting that we're having now is for us to come together with like-minded individuals to learn how to get our footing back on the ground, because we have compromised. Because like you say, when we were younger, we used to fight for everything that we want. We scream and kick till we get it. We would scream and kick till we get it, but now we don't.
If I might add, I agree with what the gentleman was saying, that sometimes we have to lead by example. So by instructing your young son to take the trash out, you're instilling that discipline within him so that as he gets older, you don't even have to tell him. It's just something natural that he does and takes
When I
out
grew
the
up,
trash.
Walker, you don't have a child, do you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Gotta beat him. You just gotta beat him.
As he get older, you will have instilled it within him. Let me tell you something I saw on social media. This guy walked into his son's room with a hefty bag full of trash. Walked into his son's bedroom and threw the bag of trash in the boy's room. He said, "Dad, why you throw that trash in here?" He said, "Son, I told you to take it out. That was a day or so ago, and you hadn't taken it out, so I figured you forgot about it or you didn't see it. And tomorrow's trash, I'm gonna bring it in here too."
Right.
I was never told why.
Sometimes people, we can lead with love, and they don't take it seriously. So what do you do in that case? That's what I'm asking. Okay, y'all can help me, because see, I've been accused of being a butthead, rude, crude, and blunt. But I'm telling you the truth.
Insensitive.
Huh?
Yeah.
What you say?
Insensitive, as they say.
Insensitive. But see,
Right.
I've already given you a suggestion. I've already asked for your input. Then I watch what you do, and then we come back and talk about it again. Well, soon, I hate baseball. I don't like to take 3 swings at a ball.
Right.
You know, that 3 strikes and you out. No, I don't want to give you 3. That second one, when you come back after that second one, then I'm just straightforward.
Right.
And I just figured, hey, we are grown, so we should be able to take it, because I can. But anyway, that's me. Okay, I started off with, as Patrick said, with love. Instructions. Do you have any questions? If you don't have any questions, then I think we're on the same page. Then if it's not done, well, what's the problem?
So I got a question. What were you referring to when you were saying that we cower down? Because I guess are those 2 different conversations?
No, it's all the same, really, because what happens a lot of times the women folk will tell you you were too harsh on something, on what you said and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Then a lot of times in our workplace, we are labeled as being rough or mean or angry. And so it's promoted to us to be real diplomatic, real soft-spoken, less, I hate to use the word dogmatic, but what was that you were saying, Walker, about not aggressive, but you got to be committed. If you want to get something accomplished, you got to be committed to it, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Determined.
And what I was thinking about is cliche, but you spat a rod, you spoiled a child. And I feel a key point of instructing a young person is obedience versus disobedience. Because if we go back to the Garden of Eden, they had everything that they needed, but God challenged them that either you're going to be obedient to my words and my will for you, or you're going to be disobedient. And by choosing to be disobedient and not doing God's will and word for them, they were cast out and had hard times. So that's why I feel like discipline is such an important thing. And as you allow your upcoming children or people in society or who you work for, that with your action comes consequences.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what the thing about it is this. If you in your household decide, first of all, who's running the household?
Yeah.
Let me back that back up. See, I know of guys who have stood by their wives during ailments and illnesses and was there at every crook and turn, but then got slapped upside the head. I personally, in the lodge, again, some of them say I'm insensitive, but then there's something that we've talked about. We've sent paperwork out on the whole gamut, and then no questions, no clarification is requested, and then it still doesn't get done. So I'm not understanding what the deal is. I'm trying to become more compassionate, but if I talk about it and give you paperwork on it and you don't ask any questions, then where's the disconnect? Sometimes it's because people just don't want to do.
Mm.
Do you think?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
So what do you do in that case? Because you're trying to get somewhere. As a man, you're trying to take your home, your household, in a direction to a destination. What are you going to do?
Put your foot down.
To me, how you got there in the first place?
How you got what?
How you got, like, to me, when I grew up, it was nobody described or told me why we were doing something. It was, you just knew what you had to do, or like, and I never got like beat because I didn't want to find out what was going to happen. So I just knew like, this is what it was, like nobody ever, this is why we go, and that maybe I'm old, maybe I'm just weird. But I'm never, no one ever explained to me. My grandma said one time, this is what it is. Thursday at 7 o'clock, the trash go out. I don't care if I play basketball, what I was doing, maybe 7:30, maybe a few minutes later, but I put the trash out. I never experienced that, but I might be a lot older.
You didn't have anything explained to you why, huh?
No. And I didn't want to find out why. Like, if you don't do it, you're going to see. And you like, I don't want to see. And then something else I want to bring up. We're talking about like how we don't go after, I'm going to say the exact words like, I guess not ambitious or whatever. And it brought up back a conversation when I first came to the Lodge Grand, like when I first came around and y'all asked a question about like 5-year goal, right? And I'm not saying everybody beat me down, but at that time, I didn't know what I want because I was leaving my trucking company and I was figuring myself out. I'm glad I came in with other men. I was like, it's something different. But once I found out what I wanted to do, I was kicking ass, taking names. Like, I don't know. Like, my question is like, how do we get, like, I guess, let me help me with this. I guess we call ourselves men of God, or we of God, and we feel like, and Graham, like you said, everything is here. And I feel like God is my father. He's not telling me everybody can have it but me. So once it's in me and I pray on it enough, I'm going to take it. I'm not like gonna beat you up for it, but it's mine for the taking, I feel like. So I don't know how like we just don't do it.
Well, now, has anybody told you couldn't do what you
Yeah, and
doing?
that fueled me. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, I got told recently, and it's being nice. I was told not long ago, you need to be nice, and they ran all over me. Now I'm kicking ass. Excuse me. Now and guess what? They're uncomfortable about it. They don't like it, but guess what? It's okay to be uncomfortable. At least I'm not uncomfortable. Somebody's gonna be uncomfortable. And guess what? Some of the time people tell you stuff because they don't want you to make them look bad or whatever else. You just gotta do what you gotta do. If you pray on it, you believe in it, what else? You're gonna do it. Either I'm gonna do it and accomplish it or I'm gonna die. one of the things gonna happen first, right?
Right.
I mean, so one of those things gonna happen. So I don't know. I don't understand it, but maybe I come from a different time, or maybe I'm weird. But I don't just be asking. Like, I'm gonna ask nicely, and if you don't, I'm gonna take it. If it's mine, but I'm not gonna take it, meaning I'm gonna take it out of your pocket. But if it's a goal or it's something, I'm going after it. If you don't like my company, some other people came there and said, "Oh, you talk rude." I don't have a problem with the people I work with. They know where I'm coming from. We got to get this done. We need to make some money. What we gonna do? I ain't gonna say, please. No, you know what we gotta do. Come on, man, tighten up. You know what time it is. You know when to go back. I'm not gonna be, oh, can we? I'm not doing that.
Nurturing. You don't want to. You just, they want you to be nurturing. But I think a lot of that comes from being content. There's people that are content. It was being pushed down to cater.
But we men of God.
But see, that's the problem. Sometimes, just like Grand used to tell me, mental health. It was me and Grand went round and round about mental health. But at the same return, he was right on some notes. But at the same return, because I was content on believing that mental health was the only way. So sometimes the stuff, you get content, that that's the only way, like you lose that zeal, that drive.
You know what fuels me? I go back and think of, and we're not going to talk about like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and everybody, even all the no names, right? That what they went through, and they survived. The family stayed together. They still they dealt with racism, like real racism, not we go through, like real racism, right? And they still went home and raised their family and kept a job. And if they can go through that, I can't go through this. Come on, what's wrong with me?
Well, I know they had to make a decision, and we always talk about that. The problem that a lot of men have is we don't know like how to make a decision, because we cater, So if you're trying to get to somewhere, shoot, you have to make a decision and you have to stand on it to get, it was 1 foot forward, 2 feet forward, or, however, but you truly have to make a concrete decision.
Well, get the evidence. To me, look it up, get the evidence, and pray on it.
Yeah.
And when you get it, pull the trigger. Hey, and fight like hell. It's the truth. I mean, come on. After you pray on it and fight like hell,
They say you're supposed to work like it all depends on you and pray like it all depends on God.
Well, Grandmaster, I wanted to piggyback off of what the gentleman was saying. I think the reason why he was saying that he didn't need to be told is because he possibly possessed a fear towards his authority figures. Like a lot of the young children these days, they don't fear their parents.
Why? Why?
Because I feel like a lot of parents have been stripped of the opportunity to properly discipline their children.
Okay.
And with a lot of the changes in the schooling system, the teachers don't even have the same level of discipline that once was possessed.
Okay, but now let's come to the home with the house, the husband and wives. Because back in the day when he was talking about our grandparents and so forth, husbands and wives worked in harmony.
Right.
Nowadays, what's the climate in the home? Somebody tell me. Y'all, some of y'all got some women. Does your wife agree with everything you're doing? Or you decide? Does she support you with everything you're doing?
No. Mine supports me because she crazy like me. So, so it goes both ways. We believe in beating, kids.
Oh, the kids. I was about to say,
No, no,
y'all not over there
no.
fighting, are you?
No, 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 never that. We believe in discipline. Cause I discipline my son. He's 32. I mean, I don't beat him or nothing like that. But it's other ways, to discipline your child. That's grown.
But
Okay,
when
but
You
y'all
your
know.
sync
child
like
is
that, y'all can accomplish anything in the world when y'all in sync like that.
your
Yeah,
child is grown. So let's negate the child. Let's talk about our household.
yeah.
You come in
Okay.
with an idea, a goal, and an objective. You present it to your spouse. What happened?
You talk about it.
See,
And
me personally, I think that the narrative that's being thrown out there about married people not being on the same page is like some sensationalized internet stuff. From a large part, from my experience, from the married people that I interact with, most of the women that I see my friends with, they are very supportive to their husband's dreams. And I'm in a somewhat of a community of married people. So I don't have the same reality that people have where they, running around with this lazy narrative that women don't follow. So to answer
excellent.
your to answer your question, I think if you show the ability to lead, your woman will follow. So I don't think there's a disconnect. And if your woman is not following you, then in my opinion, it's something that you not showing her that is allowing her to follow you. But at large part, these women and these married people that's not on the internet, they quiet and they to themselves because they know their purpose or they know their path. A lot of times, what I'll just keep it to me, what kind of slowed me down from reaching goals was lack of information, and that's why I this year especially said I wanted to reach out and to be around men that were older than me because y'all have seen more and been exposed to more information than me that I could, like you said, you go to two or three older gentlemen and speak to. For the majority of my life, I've never had older men that I could bounce anything off. I've been bumping my head and fumbling in the dark on my own. So, but I just want people to kind of back off that lazy narrative that women don't follow their husbands, especially in the black community, because I don't think that's always true.
No, it's not always true.
There's nothing that's always one way. But I've been in 3 serious relationships, and every time I felt like I was outgrowing and outdoing things and reaching the next level, it was an issue. And my thing is that I feel like is the outside friends, or they feel like because mainly men are very men usually don't leave their wives unless something else. If we look at who divorce rate and who divorce who and who divorce what, where does it mainly come from? I think that when you get married, and some people, there's a lot of people grew up with a father, with a mother, and they know the roles and they seen it. Like myself, my mom and daddy was divorced young, but I had men around me, so I knew
Yeah.
I was bad, but then I knew what a man. When it came down to it, I knew what a man was supposed to be doing and seem like. And but I see men every. Well, I will say this. Also, with women, I will say this too. There's a lot of men ain't cutting the mustard too, though. There's a lot of men
Absolutely.
ain't cutting the mustard. They ain't cutting the
Absolutely.
mustard. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
One
cut the
thousand
mustard.
percent. And I'm the type where sometimes men gotta hold us more accountable and stop putting this stuff on these women. I,
Listen,
I,
I want to say
that's,
something. I got to interject on some of this because I done been married and divorced and things like that. And there is nothing that's 100% guaranteed. But there is some truth to that because numbers don't lie, statistics don't lie. And the narrative has always been that it's been the men. You know what I'm saying? Because the world holds men accountable. I don't care what we do, where we are back, we other men hold other men accountable. You know what I'm saying? But the world
Yes.
caters and don't hold women accountable for much, and women are not allowed. Like everybody, like women have a cushion. You know what I'm saying? So you can be doing 100% what's great and whatnot, and it could be something simple, and the woman could be a good woman or a decent woman, but a lot of times they challenge you on different things, and because it's chaos by nature. You know what I'm saying? They are chaotic by nature, man. You can like chicken
And
and rice,
sometimes
and
I
you as
think
a
they're
man and
scared.
chicken and rice.
Well, the man,
Say that again.
Sometimes I think they're scared because you have to also see who they've been around as men or their relationships, like they're around them, what the men doing around. Because I'll tell my spouse, don't judge me
Right.
compared to what other people do. Just because I'm working late and I'm trying to build something and somebody else doing something, don't come at me behind that. I'm working. Hey, if you want to come help me work, come on.
okay, but
100%.
now, would you agree that some of the problems we have is, well, number one, if we're the head, it's our fault. We take the blame and we take the credit.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get that straight. If the man is the head, beginning with creation, man is the head. He gets the blame. He gets the credit. Oftentimes, what we get is based on the decisions we made.
Yeah.
We might have picked the wrong one.
Right.
I would totally agree with that.
See, I'm probably the oldest one
Yeah,
on the call.
that's the end. You hit the nail on it. That's the one right there. You might have picked the wrong one for you and the
Yeah,
journey and the place you are in life. A lot of times the one you pick ain't the one you might need at this point in your life too.
well, banjo when I was your age, if it looked good, sound good, felt good, smelled good, I wanted it. I
Think
had to
my
have it. Now,
You-
which basically says the wrapping was pretty, but the content might have been tainted.
Right.
So one of the things we need to do is realize, like I said, we get the blame, we get the credit. And then we need to talk to young men and try and tell them how
yes,
to pick
yes.
and
Right.
choose or how to find the right one. When the Bible says, man who finds a wife finds a good thing. Well, that means she's already got to be a wife. Okay?
Yeah, but he has to be a man too before he chooses her as well.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, you're right.
So,
Totally right. So, yes.
so it's not the woman's fault. It's ours. And if we wind up picking wrong, I go back to what I like to say. Work will solve 90% of our problems. And a good man will make a decision and then he makes his decision right. So if you pick the wrong one, you got to fight the battle. You got to.
I will say this.
Huh?
I picked things and I always thought I was, I guess, ego or whatever it was, I was strong enough to fix things. Or I'm like, I can whatever it is, I can fix. And there were certain projects I should have never took on. I will say that.
Okay.
I didn't know better. I know
Yeah.
better now, and I don't mean I'm gonna walk away or run or whatever else. But again, like y'all said about talking to younger men, I see it happening today. I know when I was younger, men told me make money, have all the women you want, have fun, and I did that because I got cheered on doing that. Nowadays, I don't see as many men doing that. Like even for myself, I have a lot of young men call me, and I don't tell them half the foolishness that I've done,
Right.
and I don't glorify it.
Well, now, we got to teach youngsters, and first off, we have to learn how to make decisions, and then we have to pass that on to other men. Because
That's not easy.
the world right now is built on immediate gratification. Again, if it looks good, sounds good, feels good, then we want it. And we never think about the price you got to pay to get it, number one, and to maintain it, number two.
Yes. Like in your book.
Yeah, like buying a car. It's easy to buy the car. Simple. Get you a couple of $1,000, you got a down payment. Then you got to make the monthly payment. You got to pay insurance monthly. You got to put gas in it. You got maintenance. So the real cost of having an automobile is after you get it. It's not just getting it.
Hey, Grant,
Yeah.
You're a little more seasoned than us. So do
No,
you
I'm
think
old.
the
I'm
fight
just
worked?
flat older. I don't try and sugarcoat stuff, Benson.
Yeah.
I'm older.
But the fight worth it?
Yes, it is.
Which
Yes, it
which
is.
fight though? Which fight though?
Which fight you talking about, Benson?
In general, the family, the fighting for success, just being a
It,
man.
it's worth it. I think it's worth it because we were put here for a purpose. We were given an assignment, and you should strive with all your might to achieve your purpose and accomplish your assignment.
I feel like it'll
Whatever.
be worth it if you get to the point to where like all of us have a vision of ourselves or the man we strive to be or want to be or inspire to be. So I feel like it'll be worth it if you get to 80-90% of that man you tell yourself you are you want to be. I think that's for me. I have a vision of the man I expect myself to be in 5, 10, 15 years. And if I can look up and see myself accomplishing these things and mentoring and giving back to the community and taking care of my family still, then I 1000% think it'll be worth it. But on the flip side, if I look 10 years from now and I'm still in the same place I was and I haven't accomplished any of these things and I haven't gotten closer to this ideal man that I want to be, I can't say it, that it would be worth it.
But
It
I
would
don't
be
think if you give that work in, you have to if you won't make it, you'll be so close. I just don't see it. You get me? Like if you put the work in, you might not get 100%, but you have to get way close. There's no
right.
way you put the work in and not get it. I mean, I've been around a little while, and I put work in things, and I might have never got. It's weird. I might have never got what I wanted, but I got somewhere. I'm like, wow. This is a whole room I didn't even know was here. This is nice. So I would say that part will be worth it because you never know where it's gonna take you. You never know who you're gonna be friends with. You never know who you're gonna be in a room with. So it's just a journey. To me, it's just a journey that's beautiful in that sense. I can say, and I don't know about the other stuff, but for that, I know that that's going to be worth it. Nowhere in the world you can put that much work into something and not get nothing out of it.
Well,
Right.
the other thing too is you have to enjoy the journey. You got to enjoy the
How you
process.
how wouldn't you not though?
Well, if your mind is not right, if your mind is not right, you're not going to enjoy the journey. You're not going to enjoy the process. If your mind is not right, you're going to mess up the process. You're going to try and skip it. If you go back to the Bible where uh, Jesse was supposed to bring his sons in for the prophet Samuel to anoint the next king or to anoint one of his sons as king. He had 8 sons, he brought in 7. And God told Samuel, nope, none of these, they ain't gonna work. That's not it. Is there another one? And Jesse said, yes, there's one out watching the sheep. Said, go get him, bring him here. That was David. Now the crazy thing about it is God told Samuel, that's him, anoint him. Guess what happened after he was anointed? Anybody guess?
Went back in the field?
We're back in the field and watching the sheep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he, had, he had to go kill some lions and bears in preparation for what? Goliath. So you gotta be satisfied. You gotta be gracious, if you will, for the process because we don't know what tomorrow is gonna bring.
And I would say that's why interacting in spaces like this is so pivotal for younger men because that when the beauty and the struggle thing, when you struggling, sometimes you not hearing this because you
True.
compartmentalizing all this and you taking this struggle on yourself. So it's good for young men to get here and hear somebody older articulate themselves and the struggle like that, because then it might give you another week of struggle, or it might give you the little pep talk you need to go back out there and get a contract or get a customer or land a deal. So I think that's why this type of thing should be like expanded on a much larger level, especially for young people, because there's a big disconnect from men of substance and younger men. Because for the majority of my lifehood, the term OG was a thing. We never aspired to listen to men of substance. We were listening to OGs. So at this point in life, we need to get around more men of substance of age so that we can hear from y'all.
Amen.
Well, on that note, I enjoy listening to the younger groups too, because it helps me. And oftentimes I want to know if I'm serving a purpose. You ask Benson, is it worth it? It is worth it when you share wisdom with anybody, old or young, and you see some benefits of it. So yeah, life is worth it. And when you enjoy the process, you go through life with a sense of joy, damn happiness. Forget that, because happiness is circumstantial. You got joy, you got, hey, whether it's raining or whether you're standing in the middle of caca, is that the word? If you're standing in the middle of it or not, you got joy. You know you're going to be all right.
But if you're going through something, I mean, where does fate take place? Like, where do we, I feel like my fate, and that may be weird, I might have bought it too much. I don't know how you want to put it, but when I get weary or anything, I feel like that is when my faith is like a turbo. It's like it blows me. It might sound weird, but
No,
it's like
it
a
doesn't.
turbo, like on my 4-wheel drive. Like it pulls me through.
That's and part of this process, these meetings. And by the way, feel free to invite any men you know. They don't have to be Masons. Just invite some men, because we don't know who has the word that we need. Okay, but when you're going through something, yes, your faith should help you to continue moving forward. But there are times when you need a word from a brother to say, hey man, you can do it. When just you and I, when you were going a year or two ago, when you were going through some stuff, I never told you, man, heck with that. Let's go have a drink. Let's go, hey man, hang tight. Keep doing what you're doing. Because you get confirmation on it.
Yes.
If you got the right circle of men around you.
I totally agree.
Now, the second thing is, if you're sitting on your duff, the right circle of men are going to tell you it's time for you to get up and do something.
Yeah.
And challenge you. Now we got a problem. Man, he talked to me like I'm a kid. Or he disrespected me. He thinks he know everything. Hey, I might be telling you something for your own good. So we got to understand how to listen and hear. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Observation, interpretation, application. What's being said? What's the purpose? How do I apply it? If it's good. If it's not, we flush it.
Yeah.
But that's what this is all about, is maintaining that faith. And going back to the original beginning, we got we were born, we were aggressive, we wanted what we wanted, and we were beat down by our parents and told what we couldn't do. And all through growing up, we had restrictions and limitations and so forth. Okay. But when you have that faith, you can keep pressing. And yes, some of us have picked the wrong woman in the past and got a whole bunch of lip service. But if you make your decision, you get confirmation from on high, your faith will move you past that.
Yes.
Comments,
Totally agree.
questions? Brother Walker, what you got to say real quick? We're going to close this out.
Well, I think it's important to remember to fear God, just as we fear our parents or other leaders on earth. By having that fear of God, it keeps us from being disobedient for His will for us in life. Because we know if we don't do what we're asked or required, then we will face the consequences. Because you can't make a mockery of God. You reap what you sow.
Well, one of the things we need to talk about one day is what are we supposed to do, and how we're going to find that out according to God. Because a lot of men don't know what they're supposed to do. Brother,
Right, so
That's a long conversation there.
Yeah, really. Brother Thompson?
But I really don't have anything to say. The main thing is I just enjoyed this. So they brought out a lot of good topics, solutions, views as well. And I just enjoyed all of it.
Brother Mo, you look like you been working hard or something.
Yes, sir, I have. But now these meetings are definitely important, man. Where you can learn, what I'm saying, because you're learning from each other. We're learning from each other and learning what to do and to as we find out our purpose and pursue our purpose. It's these type of meetings that help navigate us to fulfill our purpose. So I think like the discussion tonight was definitely relevant to at least my life and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like authority, as far as authority, I'm getting beat down and doubting yourself and limitations being placed on you because they have been.
Okay.
And and now as you discover that you still have that same potential, that same drive that you had as a child, you can pursue your like your
Right.
ambitions.
It's been asleep. It's been asleep. It's in us. It was put in us at creation, but it's been asleep. We got to wake it up.
Yes,
And
sir.
strengthen it. Brother Benson or Banjo, one or the other. Any last comments?
I think that'll be a good one for next time. Like, how do you know that you on? How do you know that you on the right path? I think that'll be a good discussion. That I'll be interested in. Or how do you, we all make these decisions. How do you stay on the path, or how do you know when to pivot, or how do you know when to push through? Things of that nature. But that's a topic for another time.
That is it. He just gave us the assignment. So now y'all figure that out and be prepared to discuss how do you know what you're supposed to be doing
Wow.
with your life. Every last one of us are given 24 hours a day. There is no shortage of money, no shortage of resources, no shortage of labor. So how do we know what our purpose and assignment is? Thank you, Brother Banjo. Brother Benson?
Oh, I just want to thank y'all for tonight because in the midst of this conversation, it brought back some memories of how I came through things and what I was going through when I went through them. And something else is, I feel like if God put us here and he has something for us, I mean, nothing can stop you. I feel
There you
you
go.
got to pray to make sure. And if you're gonna do the right thing with it, why would he stop you?
Mm.
That's it.
Oh yeah, that's a bar right there. Why would he stop you? You might need to snip that one. That's a bar right there, man.
Brother Banjo, we're gonna get with you. On you gotta let me know what day is good for you to come to Houston.
All right, let me
Check your calendar. Let us know.
okay.
It would be wonderful Saturday because we're having steak night. But
You know I'm a vegetarian, man. You know I'm just messing around.
You talk to the meat.
well, you can eat the potatoes, but
Yeah.
I hope it don't offend you, but we gonna eat some cow.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'll get with you.
Let us know what day is good for you, weekday or weekend.
Okay, cool.
All right, fellas. Anything else?
Love y'all,
Brother
man.
Moore, you want to pray us out?
Yes, sir. All right, brothers. Father, thank you for this time that we can come together as men and as brothers to where we can learn from each other and we can build from each other. Thank you for every day that you allow us the opportunity to be better men. And I pray at this time that each one of us has the strength to be better and to be stronger when we come across obstacles and the tasks that lay before us. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Brother
You're welcome.
Thompson,